everything was a total mess, and he tried to confirm if the electrical system was still working, but he found out that after being submerged underwater, it wasn't working. And since electricity has stopped, there is nothing that could be used to cool the reactors. Because the earthquake and tsunamis were far beyond the assumption of the design of the plant, all 6 reactors lost power supply. The key solution here is to recover that power supply. However, for reactors 3 and 4, we see that the water in the spent fuel storage pool is evaporating, and high levels of radiation is being detected in the area around these buildings, making work in the area very dangerous. So the first thing that was done was water injection by Tokyo Fire Department and the Self-Defense Force to reactor number 3. We went to report on the harsh conditions in which the operation took place. Yesterday, the Tokyo Fire Department carried out their water pumping operation over 13 hours and a half. The water pumping operation to reactor number 3 was an all-out operation involving also the police and the self-defense force. It was a fight also against radiation. This firefighter says that they were fighting an invisible enemy. Therefore, fear kept mounting. And they had to keep the firefighters focused, and also to make sure that they only received limited exposure. And there was an organization that supported this operation. The CNBC, or Central Nuclear, Biological, and Chemical Weapon Defense Unit of the Ground Self-Defense Force. They were there to watch out, to make sure that the operation team was only exposed to minimal amounts of radiation. These are very special protective gears with lead, but they weigh 22 kilograms. This troop member explains that this will protect the areas of the body that is susceptible to effects of radiation, for example, the thyroid gland, internal organs, and also the bone marrow. This is an armored vehicle, the chemical reconnaissance vehicle, that can go into areas where there is high radiation. This unit with special equipment now found themselves involved in the operation at the power plant. This official of the Self-Defense Force says that it was, of course, an operation beyond initial assumptions. However, he says that the troop members all know the basic principles of working in a high radiation area, and therefore they can cooperate with each other and support each other to manage the amount of exposure. Water was to be injected into the spent fuel storage pool of reactor number 3. This is a power plant that is the same type as the Fukushima Daiichi power plant. The pool should be filled with water like this. The water has 2 roles to play. One is to cool the spent fuel. The second role is to make sure that the radiation from the spent fuel does not leak outside. In this earthquake, the cooling system for this pool was no longer operational, and therefore the water in the pool evaporated. And after the fuel was exposed, radiation leaked out of the building. you can see white steam coming out of the building of reactor 3. This shows that the water in the pool is evaporating. This was the morning of March 16th, the fifth day after the earthquake. The typical official says that the steam coming out of reactor number 3 shows that this is quite a serious situation. Right after the accident, people were focusing on the nuclear fuel rods in the reactor itself. However, this fuel rod is protected by the pressure vessel as well as the reactor containment vessel. The spent fuel, which has gone through its nuclear fission, because of that, this pool didn't have any special protection against radiation leakage except the water. And this accident showed the blind spot for even experts on nuclear power plants. This expert says that nobody suspected that the cooling system would be lost because of electricity loss. This is truly a severe accident.
C'est parti. It started. Now the power increase.
What happens if the water loss situation continues? This is an experiment that took place in a French Atomic Energy Research Institute. The spent nuclear fuel that is not cooled will generate heat and heat up to 2,500 degrees Celsius. And the coating outside of the fuel is distorted because of this heat. Radiative cesium and iodine is now exposed. If something like the experiment happens, and if radiation is dispersed into the air, it would create a very serious situation where contamination occurs in the area around the plant. In order to prevent such a situation from happening, even under high radiation, work had to take place immediately. This is a command post in the SDF Chemical Academy. We were able to go to cover the story. One troop member reports on the plant situation, says that the reactor number 3 will go through a water injection operation. It's not just the self-defense force, but also this team was responsible to look at the exposure to radiation of all the team members and also to count the limited time that they were allowed to work in that environment. On the 15th, before the water injection operation started, they were up in the air to measure the radiation level. As high as 250 millisieverts per hour was recorded when the measurements took place. And this made the water injection operation very difficult. This expert says that it meant that it is very dangerous, and this high level indicates that only in life-saving operations are people allowed to go into such an environment. The time that people can work in this environment is very short, meaning that people will have to rotate, meaning that a lot of people will have to be involved in this operation. The water dumping operation from the skies. The helicopter dropped water from 90 meters from the ground. They didn't hover over the reactors, and the operation only took place over a 40-minute period. This is an image taken from the CRV close to the reactor number 3 building. They were measuring the radiation amount as they tried to guide the water pumping cars into the area. The maximum amount of exposure measured among the troop members was 27 millisieverts, which was below the limit of exposure. And now, starting this morning, water injection operation on reactor number 4 started. This is an immediate measure to fill in the storage pool water. And after that, the operation to recover electricity would start.